Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be back with another young Indian. Right now, we have with us Jyoti Porwal. Let's listen to her. But before I give her the chance to speak, let me say that I have worked quite a bit with the NGO she works for, and that is one of India's top ranked NGOs. I love them, I support them fully. But let's hear from Jyoti. Over to you, Jyoti.
Thank you, sir, for providing such a great opportunity to me to speak on such great platform. I really appreciate this initiative. So yeah, I will start with my brief introduction. I am Jyoti Porwal, and yes, currently I work with an incredible and change-making NGO named as Freedom Employability Academy. And here I work as a senior mentor coordinator. I also have worked with operations here and as an area manager. So I hold quite a good experience working with this NGO. It's been now more than 10 years that I'm here, and I'm really proud to be the part of FEA. And thank you, Subodh Sir, for being a great mentor of our students. So yeah, this is about my work. And if I talk about my studies, I am from commerce background. I have done my graduation BCom from Delhi University and MCom from IGNOU University. I was, I used to like maths, accounts, so I I opted for this commerce background and I moved further. I initially wanted to be a CA accountant, and I will tell you the story how I moved to the development sector, though I didn't plan to further. So yes, this is all about my brief introduction from my schooling to how I reached to FEA. I'll tell you. Uh, Subodh sir, do you have any question before I proceed?
No,
Okay.
there's no questions. Please proceed.
All right. So, yes, how I got into FEA, I would like to start with that. So, I just completed my graduation, and I was like every other cousin and other friends were moving to look for a new job, as it was the time when we all wanted to explore new things and ready to do job. As means, I was also not so much told to do further studies, but it was all my choice to do whatever I wanted to do. So, I was looking for a job, also not so rigorously, but just looking for it. I worked in a bank as an intern for some time, but again, I didn't like that much because it was too much of paperwork kind of. So it was, I think, around 1 month that I worked. And around that time only, this NGO, FEA, was opened in my locality. So it was just in front of my house in the other building. So as I was not so good in English, I wanted to learn English so that I can be so confident about uh, talking in English, cracking interviews and all. So I, with my cousin, went to FEA, and before that, we got to know that here only you have to speak in English. You can't get admission if you don't introduce yourself in English. So that was there was a fear, curiosity. How will we start our journey there? So we both went preparing our introduction that time in English, and thought let's give it a try. So both went, we both gave our introduction, and we got selected to get admission in FEA. At that time, also I used to tutor. I used to do tutoring as I was interested in teaching. So I started earning through that way during my graduation. So, having that skill in FEA also as a student, I started teaching. I mean, I started supporting facilitator in some activities that facilitator used to do. So, seeing that skill, facilitator suggested me before giving me ID, facilitator suggested me, you also should go and try giving interview. I think you are good for this job. I was again so much surprised to see that I can also do such good work. teaching students free of cost, all that. So I thought, okay, let's give it a try. I went to head office. It was in Vasant Vihar that time as well. So went for my first interview round, got selected. Though it was that time, it was very simple process. It was not that typical. I started, I don't remember the HR name that time, but she was so polite. I was so impressed seeing the culture of the organization. It was so simple, but I was like, it was so simple, and they didn't ask me so many questions. So maybe I don't deserve this, or I'm not certified or qualified for this. So just I thought it is an experience, so let me go and let's see what happens next. Then I was again tutoring my students one day, and I got a call from the trainer, the senior trainer there. Uh, he was a language coach, and that time he was training the staff, and his name is Ashish Martin Chauhan. So I got a call from him, and he was maybe selecting the people for the second round. And I just when he said you're shortlisted for the second round, I was so happy, thinking, okay, at least I got a second chance in my first interview round. So I went for the interview. They asked me some English related question to check my fluency level. They also found that I'm not that good. I'm weak. So again, as you know, FEA is supporting even the employees. So if employees are not that a good level, they first support, train them, and see if we can make them up to the mark. So that time also, back then, they used to provide us training for 30 days. So they used to provide us training for 30 days, English training basically. So 9 to 6, we were always like we were talking in English, eating in English, drinking in English, everything was in English. So it was like college environment, but there was a strict rule that you cannot speak in Hindi. And those 30 days were the even uh, change uh, change days, you can say, for all of us. Somebody was so fluent at that time in my batch. Somebody was so fluent that they had to control their pace. Somebody was so slow. Somebody didn't know grammar. Somebody knew grammar but could not speak, as they didn't get ever the environment of speaking in their school and college. So we got all those opportunities to practice in those 30 days. And I think out of all 20, 30 people, we, except one or two, we all graduated for the job in FEA. So we all became facilitator. I was so glad. It was 2014 when I started working with FEA. So in 2014, my training was there, and then I joined in January 2014. And that from that time, it was like continuous learning. Till today, I'm learning here. I never feel like it's boring, or I have been here for 10 years, I should change. So it feels like FEA is another family for me. So from the time I joined as an inductee, from that time, each day we were learning. I became a facilitator. I I was so means again I was uh, in the family. I was in the family where people are not allowed to go out
One
much.
second, Jyoti. Let's stop and explain what a facilitator is, because not everybody knows that.
Okay, so as in schools, we have teachers. They teach certain curriculum, CBSE curriculum, UPSC, and whatever the curriculum
Hmm.
particular region has. Similarly, in FEA, we don't have teachers who just deliver the curriculum. But in FEA, we facilitate learning. We, as facilitators, think that students know everything, but we have to bring it out. So we ask questions, and we need to ask right questions so that students come up with the answer, because they have everything in their mind. We just have to put a right question so that they explain it to others.
Okay.
So there are diverse set of students. One can be highly intelligent, one can be very shy, who knows but cannot speak. So facilitation is something like you make the student competent to teach others. It's not
Okay.
facilitator teaching actually, but
And how many
making
students?
students speak.
How many students at a time does a facilitator have?
So in a session we have 20 students. A batch is of 20 students
And the batch stays with you for how long?
for 1 year. So it's a
1 year.
free 1 year program for students.
Hmm.
Batch stays for 1 year. Most of them, let's say we start a batch with 20 students, you can assume 17 graduate with us.
Okay.
Three student sometimes cannot continue because of certain reasons,
Hmm.
family issues, their study issues, or
Hmm.
sometimes they get job.
Hmm.
But it's a ratio, you can say.
Okay. And what's the ratio of girls to boys in general in your batch?
It's I think it's same exactly. If talk about the calculation, that I cannot tell you exactly, but it's 50% more girls coming to the branch. There will be right now we are expanding more in rural areas. So you will find in some batches there are only girls, in some batches there are only boys, because some regions are there where they don't support girls boys going together. So generally, I need to study more about the ratio, but we support everybody coming together in a batch, particularly.
Okay. All right. Let's continue. So you became a facilitator.
Yeah, I became a facilitator. I had good experience of 2 years. I got good support from my managers, and then I got an opportunity to supervise, to support other facilitators. So I became a supervisor. Back then, we used to call that supervisor, but now we call them as a territory manager. So we get a responsibility of handling complete territory and support the facilitators
Mm.
of that particular territory.
Mm.
We help them teach, facilitate
Mm.
students if they struggle. So we help them in certain areas. We prepare rubrics for them so that they also can can do better. Then further, or I think it's 6 months that I became supervisor for, and then based on my work, I was promoted as an area manager because I was able to do good job at support field staff. Further, as an area manager, I got a responsibility of complete area. So I used to manage East Delhi, and I ended up managing East Delhi and north side of Delhi. So I used to handle good number of students, good number of facilitators, and again, I gained certain skills throughout this process, leadership skills. I was able to manage a big team successfully, guide them, train them. So it was all the experience of whole journey. Then further, it was a time when I also needed some fixed time job. So I opted for this mentorship department, mentorship job, where I can also help my and support my family, as I have a daughter now. So for the same, I chose to work with mentorship team. Here in mentorship team, basically we coordinate with professionals so that we can connect them to our students to provide them proper guidance. As currently we still have certain regions and certain families, they don't have mentors. They don't have a qualified person who can actually uh, you know help them, guide them to achieve their career goals. So FEA has this mentorship department through which we connect to certain professionals, and those professionals connect to our students, and they mentor them.
Yeah.
So I you also have done certain mentorship
Yes. No. But leave
and
me
you have good
out. Just tell
experience
us
of that.
about your experience. We can talk about my ideas later,
Okay.
but tell us
uh,
how you are, what you are doing, and how it is going.
It's been around 2 months that I've joined mentorship department, and it's very new experience for me also to connect with corporates and to connect with the professionals from different background,
Mm,
explaining them about FEA.
mm,
So I'm also gaining that confidence, speaking about something about my organization confidently, and I also feel proud that I am able to
mm.
work for those students from rural area, those who really need assistance. So I am also mentoring a batch to gain experience. I see students from different background and having certain aspirations. Means they are from the background which is right now. I feel like if I had a mentor in my life, I could have done something better than what I am doing right now. So it's really great to have a mentor in life. So I'm very I feel really proud that FEA is doing certain things for the disadvantaged youth
Okay.
currently.
All right. Can you just talk a little bit about the difference between the rural students and the students you have in Delhi, like in East Delhi?
Urban.
You know those students. So, do you see differences? What differences do you see?
So one difference is that the urban students are quite good in English language. However, rural students are still taking time to be good at English language. They are hesitant speaking in English. Sometimes we also have initiated English program for rural students, but again, it's in progress. We don't expect still our advanced level students to speak in English confidently, because earlier we started with some employability skills. The program is was more about employability skills, helping them to know how to search job, how to initiate their own business. But now we are also moving towards this English program for our rural students. So one big difference is this. Second, rural students don't have more exposure to the jobs available. So, but still, when I meet rural students and I listen to their aspiration, it's like they have decided what they want to be, and they know, means in FEA also there are certain lessons which help them decide the path, like what first, what second. So it seems they also uh, are becoming flexible to move out and opt for whatever career they have decided to. So I feel really glad to listen to their aspirations, because at least they're able to think about it.
Okay.
Once you have thought, then you can initiate the process. So this is urban students are also very clear about their goals, but if I compare currently, I found my rural batch was more confident telling about their aspirations and working towards that
Okay. How many people do you admit every year?
every year. So currently, if I talk about the numbers, currently as on today we have 78,000 students attending FEA class every day. So
It's
I mean,
huge.
this is the current number. Yes,
78,000,
more than 78,000.
right? And they stay 1 year, right?
They stay 1 year.
So it's
Yes.
approximately at least 75,000 every year that you are helping, right?
Yes.
Because they are there only for 1 year and then they move on, right?
Yeah,
So,
they move on. No, there are certain yeah, they move on, but the FE also has certain programs for our alumni. So we have MOOC club. So we encourage our students to stay connected with the learning. So we have a MOOC club where we have a MOOC coordinator. So a graduate student only becomes the mentor of other students of the batch. So every graduate does certain course from Coursera or different websites, uh, different MOOC platform.
mm,
So they do a course, they discuss on a discussion platform.
mm,
So this is how they are connected
mm.
after completing FEA course as well.
Okay, all right. Uh, Apart from FEA, anything else you want to talk about?
Apart from FEA, should I talk something about my personal life?
Whatever, it's your choice. I am not telling you what to talk about, but
Okay.
I'm asking you if there's something else on your mind or something else that you want to talk about, please do so.
Yes. Okay. So, I feel blessed that I had a good family before marriage, and now also the family which I got is amazing, supportive, and they continue to encourage me to do new things. So I feel if you do not have a person who can push you every time, you become stagnant. But if you have a person in your family who pushes you, you can do this, why don't you start, why don't you initiate? So I think there is a person who can push, and we can call it as a mentor also, is required in a family also as well. So I'm blessed that I have my mother-in-law who is a great push, who is a great mentor to me. uh, I didn't assume that I will ever get such mother-in-law. So I will just share an experience for the same. I think 2 years back, my husband went out to work, and at the same time, I gave birth to my baby girl, my daughter. So at the same time, we have a festival named as Karwa Chauth. So that time, my mother was saying, "What will you do here?" My mother-in-law initiated the talk and said, "What will you do here? You also go and celebrate the festival with him." And I never went out of Delhi alone. So she encouraged me. She said, "You take book a flight, book a hotel, and go." So I was very afraid doing this, and that was the time she took a follow up from me certain times. Means this push I'm talking about. So if there is somebody to push, you can do anything. So I never thought I will board the flight alone and travel alone on a flight to meet my husband. I never assumed that I will do a flight traveling alone. So I booked flight just a day before. Means after thinking a lot, I booked hotel, flight, everything I was doing for the first time. So it was great experience of that traveling. I moved alone. I didn't inform him anything, and I was finally there safely. Had a good experience of all the traveling that I did alone. But means just the message here, I want to say that if there is somebody to push, you can do anything. Means right. One thing is about self motivation that everybody should have. But one other thing is there. If there is a mentor in life, there is somebody to push. The other person can do even better. So uh, I am blessed to have such family. She also encourages me to do certain courses so that I can upgrade myself. If I am interested in dancing, singing, she encourages me to take a dance class, and encourages me to do some classical work. So all that is there in my family as an encouragement. I follow.
Okay, all right. What advice do you have for young people? I mean, you've seen so
Mm,
many young people in FEA. You have
yeah,
a lot of knowledge and experience. So could you please share some things with them here?
exactly. So one thing is about means first to be very clear with your goal, what you want to be or what you want to do in life. If you have decided that you want to do something, please initiate the process. Sometimes what happens, we decide we want to do this. I want to do dancing, I want to become an accountant, I want to do certain things, but we never initiate the process. So I would like to tell all people who are watching this video to take first step. Once you take first step, other steps will fall in place itself. But just take one initial step to begin with. So this is one thing. Second thing, I would like to advise everyone not to tolerate any bad behavior. I have seen at workplace, I have seen in school, colleges, that there are certain bad behaviors that sometimes we think, means I have personally seen that is taken and just we ignore. And once we ignore that behavior, it increases the other people. They take it as granted and they continue behaving bad with us. So we should not tolerate such bad behavior. We should maybe tell that politely that I don't like such behavior, so that anything bad doesn't increase in future.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
You can ask me about anything.
I don't ask questions in this show. I let people talk because you have so much of your own life to talk about and your own decisions. So I'd rather have you talk rather than ask me any question. I rarely ask any questions.
Yeah, I know that.
Uh,
You mentioned.
yeah.
So,
So
I
go ahead.
for future, I have certain things in my mind. So I don't want to continue. Means I don't want to be stagnant. To be better in future, to upgrade myself, uh, I have decided certain things like to work with data. I want to do a course of data analysis so that I can add a term name of, add a term analyst in my profile. So this is my future upcoming goal, short term goal. Also, my mother-in-law has a trust, so named as Shambhavi Mahamudra Trust. I also want to contribute in that. It's basically teaching Sanskrit to students. So as my mother-in-law, she thinks that Sanskrit subject, Hindi subjects are not encouraged much in current times. So she has been a great Sanskrit teacher. So she uh, has initiated uh, the trust, where we teach our students classical music, classical dance, also Sanskrit. So I would like to help her in that program as well. Though it is very small, it is at very small stage currently, but I would like to help her, develop that trust as well. So there are so many things in mind, but still to plan ahead.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So good to hear you talk about FEA and about yourself. Anything else you want to add here?
I would like to. I do not have right now anything to add. Uh, just I would like to advise everyone. I mean, seeing the society and the current, happening in India. So I would like everybody to be bold and to be very clear with their goals,
Mm-hmm.
so that also to initiate their first step.
Okay.
If once they have started, they will surely finish.
Yeah.
There are many people we see, they have certain ideas in their mind, but they never start.
Mm.
So I have experienced this with many students at FEA also. But
Mm.
yeah, if they start, they get a, means they also, if they have somebody to advise, to mentor them, it's good. If they don't have, then after means just to initiate, they should get somebody who can help them and guide them to proceed further.
Mm-hmm.
So they should not hesitate, asking for guidance.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Jyoti. I think we can end it here today. It's really a pleasure to hear you talk about FEA from inside and tell us how it works, what it's doing. I do have some experience from the other side, but it's always good to know both sides. So thank you so much. And of course, thank you for working so hard for those students. I mean, they really need all the help that they can get, and they do so well after the help that they get. So it's really a pleasure to be associated with FEA. And let's end it here. I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, sir.